Hello, everyone, and welcome to our reunion show of Brisbane Survivor, The People You Know. You would have just seen the finale episode. If you haven't, I would suggest you tune away now. It is not the time for you to join. Go back and watch. This will be spoilers galore. So we want you to make sure you're up to date on the information before you watch this. So you've been warned because I'm about to bring the winner on. You've been warned. All right. Well, I'm going to introduce the winner of Brisbane's first season, Mr. Nick Green. Come on up, Nick. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
How does that feel?
Yeah, good. It's good to relive it. Like I was just saying to Andy, it's just so different to like watch yourself on TV. It's something strange, but no, it was really good. The last episode was really good, and yeah, I've been waiting for it for 3 years so I can gloat to everyone. So,
I know that the Embers podcast, who have been podcasting about this season, they actually made some predictions early on, and 3 of the 4 of them actually had you going out first, leaving the game first. I just want to know really quickly what was going on in your mind when you heard that, knowing the outcome.
I gave Aston a bit of a clip just then, but no, I thought it was good. You know, if you need another expert on the panel next year, maybe just ask me. I thought it was interesting. Like, obviously, if you look at me saying I'm going to win, you're probably expecting a cocky guy going in to rule the roost, but it's not really me. So I was pretty lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. But you played a really good game. I think a lot of it, though, what we saw on the episodes is that you were talking a lot about not being strategic. I think you mentioned that a lot of times. So can you unpack your thinking behind that?
Yeah, I just wanted to reassure people that I wasn't you, basically. Like I think the 3 of us are very different, like people. Lily's like aggressive and in your face, and like she's gonna put her points forward, and you're very like softly spoken, will get involved, but I'm more just happy to sit in the background and just kind of like move the puzzle pieces. And I just needed to do that and make sure, I wasn't put in the same bracket as you going on the show when I look like you's probably. I didn't think I was a chance of staying, so.
No, well, I was talking on a podcast last night, and they were asking about having, you and Lily both in the finals and how I felt about that. And I was very honest by saying I didn't think they'd get very far not because of your skill level, but because you didn't know hardly anyone in the team, in the whole cast. And so that really, I think, goes to show that in this season, it was the people you know. And the strongest relationship, probably the connection in the cast, was the brother and sister relationship. How do you feel like that how was your feeling about that going into the game, and then how it played out in the game?
So I needed to reassure people as well that like I wasn't going to be there for Lily. Like I was there to win myself, which I was. But I think, going in, I remember the night before we blued, like we fought. And I was out for blood. Like I wanted to get her. Like, and so the whole day I was genuine. I was like, don't trust her. Like, don't trust her. Vote her out. And then it kind of got to the end, and like Liam said in an episode before me, but yeah, it's the people you know. And when it came to like being able to trust someone, I obviously trusted my sister. So like they probably should have broken that up a bit earlier, I guess.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing lots of their comments. A lot of it was on the gameplay on the day and not taking into account any of the relationships that happened that were brought into the game. So that was really interesting. But is there anything from your perspective, having watched all the episodes now, is there anything that we missed? Is there anything the audience missed from your experience that you think would be beneficial for them to hear?
No, you've got most of the pieces. I think, to be honest, I probably going into that last tribal, played down what I'd done still. I don't know why. Like, I'm sitting there going, like, this is your time to gloat. I don't know why you're kind of saying you weren't part of Blindsides. And, like, I was feeding intel to Tyler. Alex was lucky. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Getting rid of Alex, like, he had an idol. If Liam and Alex stuck, we were in trouble. But, yeah, there were a few things there. Obviously, orchestrated the Liam vote out. And I had people there. Like, I knew I had people there that were going to, like, just did the job for me, voted Tyler out. And then I knew Andy would be the next person up. Like, it was lucky. It was lucky that I got Tyler, to be honest. I'll be fair. She's a genius.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you, Nick. Congratulations. It's good to hear some of your thoughts. I'm sure you'll be joining the podcast, the Embers podcast, to do a little bit more of a dive into your game. But can we give it up for Nick? Congratulations. Oh, Nick, actually, sorry, come back here. Sorry, I forgot about one more thing. A friend of the show, Mr. Simon Me himself from Australian Survivor, has sent in your very own snuffed hat, and you'll be expecting a message from him very soon. Thanks. Congratulating you on your win. The snuffed hat, though, actually says never snuffed because your torch never got snuffed. Isn't that fun? And he signed it as well. So anyway, you're getting that soon. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate it. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Nick. Lily, do you want to make your way up here? Round of applause for Lily, please. Amazing. Hello, Lily. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, you actually haven't been here to watch the episode because you've been training for your grand final, which is on the weekend.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it. So everyone knows a little bit more than me, but I think I remember. Well, I didn't win. I didn't win.
You know who you.
I know that. I think I know that.
And you know who won.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Who was that?
Yeah, Nick won.
And how did that make you feel, Nick winning at the end of the day?
Honestly, very irritated. Obviously, I love beating him, and I think that I wish I did it more. Watching it back, it is irritating because I'd love to go again because I'm a little bit older now. I was 18 then. I'm 22 now. I think I've got a little bit of something on him. But actually, at the end of the day, I don't know if it was the emotions of how tired I actually was because it was seriously exhausting. I was so proud of him. And so, yeah, he actually did deserve it at the end of the day. So, yeah, I am proud of him. I'm going against the grain, the rivalry sibling thing, but yeah, no, I'm proud of him.
It was interesting to see your relationship with Nick through the game and what you were saying about each other. And then you came together in the end, really to do a really big blindside so that your ally Liam could go and to make way. Ultimately, what we know now is for Nick to win. So tell us about that vote there and what was going through your mind at the time.
From what I remember with that was a bit of a lifeline for me that he kind of brought me under the wing. I don't know if that was very manipulative where he made me feel like I was going home, but I felt like I needed him. And so I think he was kind of giving me a little bit of a lifeboat there. But also at the end of the day, as we said, it is the survivor, the people you know. It really did. At the start, I wanted to get rid of him almost immediately. And then something happened where at the end, I was like, I actually want to go through to the end with him. And I wanted it to be him and I at the end. So as much as it was definitely a lifeline, I also wanted it to be him and I. And I didn't want to vote him out.
How do you think that would have gone in the final tribal council, you against Nick? What would that have looked like?
I think I would have beaten him. I just think that, as Nick's probably said, he is a little bit quieter, and he got to the end and he was kind of not going to say the things that he did because he had a resume, and I don't know if he expressed it as well as he could have. And I think that there were moments in there where I was taking credit for things I didn't even do. So like I think that I would have probably put my resume out there a little bit more than he did.
And I'm going to just step in here as a brother to you both. And I would say that Nick actually, I think he matches the person he's against really well. And it would have been really interesting to see you and him fight for your spot at the end. I think we would have seen the other side to Nick. Do you think so?
Oh, absolutely. There would have been a fight. We would have been fighting. Yeah. So it's probably best it didn't go that way.
Well, Lily, congratulations. You played a fantastic game. Thank you so much for playing this. And yeah, coming in third is a massive achievement. So we just want to say thank you so much. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations to Lily. We're going to, we got some questions coming in from the room. If you have any questions online as well, you're more than welcome to comment on there and we will get them to us soon. Just the guys behind the scenes, if you want to hand us some questions, if they are for anyone, they're for Liam. Oh, Liam. Do you want to come up here, Liam? Let's give it up for Liam as he makes his way up. Congratulations, Liam. Made it to the final episode, coming in fourth. How did it feel watching this? Because you haven't seen this episode. So how did it feel watching this back tonight?
I think it was definitely a very interesting experience because you only have a little piece of what your game was. You don't realize all the little conversations that are happening in the background with the other contestants, and congratulations to all the contestants and wherever you guys finished. But yeah, it was very interesting seeing everyone else's perspective.
Watching the final challenge go down, I saw you in the room and I could see what was happening in your eyes. Explain to us, you missed out on that challenge just. What was going through your mind as you were watching it?
Oh, Sam, you already know. I would have taken down that challenge in a heartbeat, 100%. Mathematics, counting, I'm all for that. So I feel like if I did get to that position in the final challenge of participating in that, I think we could have seen a very interesting and different outcome.
Interesting. Yeah, strong words. Now, looking at your game though, what are you most proud of from your game? What didn't we get to see as the audience necessarily?
So there's a few things, but I think what I'll keep in mind is I'm just happy that I was able to get to Final Four, being the challenge that I was. So surviving through the actual team challenges and keeping the mentality of like keeping physically strong. And I think Georgia noted it really well in her exit interview that a lot of the challenges weren't actually physically driven, but to get myself through, that was a key one. And I think probably the one vote, if I had like something that wasn't really explained well from myself, is the Alex vote. And for me personally, what happened was when Tyler came to me and she was like, did you know that Alex had an idol? I have a terrible tell, and I pulled the mask over my face and I said, yes, that was a lie. I had no idea. And but at the end of the day, I had to vote Nick to save myself in case Alex played his idol, so we would split the vote.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So good insight there, I think, to that one. I have a question here from the room. After watching the episode, do you think Nick deserved the win? Because you voted for Kyle. So what are your thoughts having watched the episode now?
Watching the episode back, I'm not going to lie, I was probably a little bit spiteful in my vote, a little bit hard done by. So I think, yes, Nick did deserve to win the Sole Survivor title.
Yeah, awesome. Let me check this one. If you played again, would you keep the same attitude of taking the best to the end? Because you said that a few times.
I think this wraps up what happened in the episode where Andy goes home. I knew the logical question was I needed to vote Kyle out. So the whole idea of taking the best to the end was as long as it suited myself. Kyle was a huge problem in that, but I couldn't in that situation bring myself to push a vote for Kyle. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, Liam, you were a great player, very strategic, a lot happening behind, I think, your face, and the audience didn't necessarily get to see what was going on in your mind. But I just want to say thank you for playing hard and thank you for playing like you. You're a very great player, and so our season was better off for having you on there. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Abby.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. We're going to go with, who's up next? Andy. Do you want to come up? Let's give Andy a round of applause. Hello, Andy. Now, you also have not seen that last episode. What are your initial thoughts going through your mind after watching it?
Makes sense. I found I laughed at the same jokes that I did during it, so that was funny too.
So you're like, cool, I am the same person a little bit. That's great. Now, also, you hadn't watched your episode where you went home until it aired as well. How was that experience watching that unfold?
Probably a bit rough, hearing what everyone had to say. But no, it made sense. I could see that I did really fight till the end and no one was ready to budge. So yeah.
It is so tricky. Hey, this game takes place, it's 3 years ago, a lot of time to like think about stuff or maybe not think about things at all. And then you're confronted with it in front of you and you're hearing the other side of the story take place. That is rough. And so, yeah, it is. The game of Survivor is a rough game, isn't it? Is there something about your game in particular that you are most proud of?
Maybe taking Tyler out. Got a little excited on that one. I was just supposed to drop it in there and then people didn't believe me. So I was like, oh, I need to give them the whole rationale, which kind of claimed it as my move and gave people a little bit too much insight into how I play and how my mind works. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of your initial, you started on the Rogers tribe first. How solid were you with the Rogers tribe before the merge? Like, did you find that there were any specific alliances that you had that you wanted to take in with you?
I think it was a bit hard because we were making moves as a group when we moved into the merge. We never got a chance to actually play individually and choose who we played with. So I think when it came down to it, Nick and Tyler were probably pretty tight, and I could tag along with that, but the problem with that is like I don't get to claim any of the moves, so I didn't really feel close to anyone, but I was happy to play with people who were good to be made, but no one was willing to play with me after what I did. So yeah.
Was that tough voting Tyler out, like really in the moment, or did it just all make sense to you?
I wouldn't say it was very hard, just because I know what a strategic player Tyler is. And for me, as soon as we stepped into the game of Survivor, I was like, relationships are relationships, but we're here to play Survivor. And I feel like I didn't get a lot of reassurance from Tyler that we were playing it together. It kind of felt like she was making the moves and just like dragging me along. She said that we would be final 2 if she had a choice in it. I never got told that. That would have been nice to know, but I think if it came down to it, I wouldn't want to go to the final 2 with her. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we understand why. Yeah, that is totally fair. You came into the game knowing Georgia, obviously, having the connection that was sort of, we spoke about the most, because she is your brother's girlfriend. How was that ever a consideration for you coming into the game of using that relationship to your advantage if you got the chance?
Well, before coming into the game, we didn't really know who was playing. So in that sense, no. But I think I would have maybe played with her, but at the same time, I also know that she is a bit of a strategical player, and I don't know if I feel like she could backstab me as well. So I would maybe play with her if it suited, but if it didn't work, I probably wouldn't go too far down that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, thank you so much for being on the cast of our very first season of Survivor. Let's give it up for Andy. Now, I have a... Yeah, okay, cool. We might come back to Tyler in a second. Alex, you're right here. Do you want to jump up? Let's get up for Alex. Hey, mate. I'll come bring it in, buddy. Hello.
Hey.
How are you feeling after watching the final episode?
Yeah, great. I think it was fun. It was fun to see. I remembered obviously that Nick won, which was cool. So I had to try and keep that quiet. I'm not good at sort of not saying things I'm not supposed to say. So hopefully I didn't spoil that for anyone. But yeah, nice Nick. Well done.
Yeah, awesome. So you obviously got voted out 3rd in the game, earlier than what you were wanting. You gave please. You gave us some great content though in the first few episodes. How did you feel about your content continuing to be used pretty much in every episode after you left the game?
Yeah, great. Back to your first point. No, I'm glad I went out when I went out. And I said this to Cam tonight because I didn't know anything about Survivor. And I think I've also said this to you. I think if I knew more, I would have played worse. I would have overthought things more. So I'm happy. I'm pretty stoked actually with how it went. So yeah, I think it was good. I at the time I thought I did worse. I thought I made more mistakes. And then in hindsight, actually not in hindsight, in watching it back, I realized, oh, it was pretty good. I probably didn't cook it as hard as I thought I did. So yeah, it was fun. And then the little Cam inclusions further through. Yeah, great. Cheers, Cam.
Alex, you gave us some great content. You played very hard, very fast. People find it hard to believe that you didn't know anything about Survivor. Can you tell us the prep that you had coming into the game? Because you were also, people don't know this, Alex was also a very last minute inclusion because of a dropout that we had. What was your prep like coming into the game?
Yeah, it was, I think you let me know like 2 days before probably, and like the day before I watched some highlights. So a couple of hours, yeah. It was not much, but it was perfect. As I said, I think the more I knew, the worse I would have done. So yeah, I wouldn't do it differently again. So if you're doing another one 2 days before, sweet.
I think you can see in Alex's game, the chat that he had, the making a fake idol, like it's pretty much a highlights reel in itself, like of YouTube. So we can see where your game goes. We've got a question from the room here. How does it feel being voted out with an idol? Ooh.
Yeah, at the time it felt really dumb. That's what I think I mean by like in hindsight, when it happened straight after, I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot. How did I do that so poorly? And then you watch it all back, and I guess it's part of the way the story's put together as well. But in hindsight, now I look at it and I think, oh, it was actually really well played by Tyler, and also Nick. It was really well played by Nick. I didn't realize Nick was involved in that at all. And yeah, and it like shows a bit of a third perspective of yourself, and you're like, oh, well, I should have picked up on Nick had said to me in that series of conversations, like, let's vote for Tyler. And I didn't even consider it. I was like, wow, it's a great idea. I should have done that. I really should have done that. And I didn't even, at the time, I don't think it even went in one ear. So yeah. But going out with an idol, yeah, pretty dumb. It's all right.
You've got a souvenir from the day though.
Yeah, and I won't do that next time. So
I love that there's going to be a next time. That's really exciting. I'd love to see that happen. Alex, is there anything from your experience, having watched the episodes, that you wish you got to take part in, but you were obviously out of the game? Is there anything that you wish that was like something that you could join in with, or a challenge or a moment that you're like, oh, if only I was there?
Yeah, 100%. It was when it was in one of the early episodes when it like cuts to the other tribe after they'd won like 3 in a row, and they were sitting around like having fun. Game experiences were all stressful because everyone I was a part of, we lost. So I was like, wow, that'd be cool. Like just to sit around and chat about how you won together. Like sick. That'd be fun. So yeah, I would love to have experienced that. It was always stressful, but it was fun.
No, awesome. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. Thank you for being on our season. Definitely a character that we won't be forgetting anytime soon. Thanks, mate. Sean, come on up, mates. Everyone, round of applause for Sean, please. Oh, got a bit of jewelry happening. How, I guess I can start by asking you the same question, because this says for Sean and Alex, you were in the same boat. How does it feel being voted out with an idol?
Dumb. No, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I played it.
Yeah. Is there anything that you look back on in that particular vote that you're like, if only I'd picked up on that, something that you saw on the episode that maybe you didn't see in the moment? You're like, if only I'd picked up on that, maybe it would have been different.
I feel like I saw more than what led on. I was just burying it, saying, no, I need this to go further. I was just burying all those thoughts, and that's why I didn't play it.
Yeah. And that's totally fair, because I think in the game of Survivor, it's so easy to become paranoid about things that you think are going on, but you don't even know they are. Were you paranoid at that stage, and that's what you were trying to suppress?
I was hoping it was paranoia.
Yeah.
And I was trying to push it away. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's funny because Kyle's the biggest tell. I think if someone asks Kyle a question and he's like, oh, then you know. So yeah, I asked him on the way to
the tribal, I asked him a question. And he was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "All right, here we go." And then again, I think you asked him, "How do you feel about this vote?" And he was like, "Oh." So yeah. But anyways, I should have played it.
Yeah. Well, those tells though you only see in succession when you watch it back, and so it's hard in the moment, especially. But you obviously came in into the game. It was Survivor, the people you know. The relationships that you had probably were, you knew most people, but it was probably to a lesser degree of like being close with everyone. How do you think that played into the game and your game in particular?
Yeah, I probably didn't add zero strategy sort of thing, so I didn't really make those close friendships closer. Well, there was no close friendships. I think I knew everyone except for Haley. So, and it turns out Haley's brother was in my grade at school. So, anyways, so I knew everyone. Yeah, so I probably didn't really play as knowing everybody. I should have played that I knew everybody, but I didn't. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure. Looking back on your game, what do you think the biggest strength of your game was up until the time that you voted out? What was the biggest strength?
I don't even know. I was sitting back. I was waiting for the second half. I was like, okay, get through this first half, and then I can play the second half, and then I'm 2 idols, friggin' loser. So yes, and then I'm gone.
Well, that is the biggest story probably of your vote out, is these 2 idols that you had.
One. Singular.
That obviously had a detrimental effect on your game. Was there any way of combating that?
I had no idea. I didn't find out until I got to jury villa that there was 2 idols floating around. So,
Very hard to plan for something you don't know about.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, that's fair. Sean, thank you so much for playing. We appreciated having you on the season. We obviously didn't get to see the part that you were the most excited for, which was the individual part. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
It's funny, Sean's actually one of my best mates. And so he is, I was so surprised on the day to see his social game. You'll see at the first bit, he was the most social in the Rogers tribe. And what we saw on the first episode, which I know he was trying so hard to make connections early on. And so that's what I definitely appreciated about Sean's game, a bit of a strength there. But let's welcome Tyler up. Tyler, come and join us. Now, Tyler, obviously a bit of a strategist is what we know by that extended confessional that we actually had to cut bits out of. That wasn't even the full thing. How did you plan to go into the game?
Yeah, so I am aware I am a strategist. And I know that if you come out really hard, really quick, usually that puts a massive target on your back. So I wanted to play a quiet game. And I was grateful our tribe didn't go to the first 2 tribals, because that enabled me to just chill out. Like our tribe not being at tribals, we didn't have any strat chat. So the first 3 episodes, I was doing nothing. So when I got to that confessional, that was the first moment that I could unload all of my thoughts. And it just so happened that it was the camera that caught it all instead of a person. So, yeah.
Well, thank goodness for us to see that, because that was such an insight into your brain. And having worked with you and know a little bit about that, I know that would have been killing you.
Yeah, it was.
Is there anything in that first part of the game that you wish that you didn't do or that you had done differently?
I had thought I found a hidden immunity idol in the armchair that I was sitting in the whole first 3 episodes. It was actually just a bunch of leftover forks from a camping trip that hadn't been emptied out. But so for the first 3 episodes, I wasn't getting up and talking. I was sitting in this chair just being constantly looking at this arm, trying to figure out a way to find it. And then once I did, it wasn't even an idol. So I wish I'd actually looked in it and realized it wasn't, so I could play the game properly.
What a red herring that we didn't know existed. But turns out later on there was an idol in a chair. So lucky you checked though. That was pretty crazy. Cam, do we have some questions there? I'll swap you. Thank you. Amazing. Ooh, okay. If you had to pick one player for All Stars, a Brisbane Survivor All-Stars out of this cast, who would you pick?
Well, you kind of have to go with the winner, is always like a classic answer. I probably would pick Nick anyway, because yeah, he doesn't say it, but he's probably as equally strategic as I am. If not Nick, probably Lily, just to see if they could play together as a sibling all-star pair, because watching those two on screen was, yeah, that was awesome.
So good. So just on Nick, you had such a unique relationship, and you referred to it in your final tribal council question. What was that actually like for you in the moment?
Yeah, well, if you had a look at the player profiles from the beginning, I probably had the most connections with most of the people on the cast. Nick and Lily were the only two I didn't know at all. And having been on a tribe with Nick, the only part of the relationship I had to pull on for both of us was what we had experienced in the game. So even like if I tried to trust someone else, I know that I can trust them because I have a friendship with them already. But with Nick, I could trust him because in the game, he had proven himself trustworthy to me, which is probably why I didn't think he would vote me out, but then he did. Whereas all the others shocked me more because they were my friends and voted me anyway.
Would you play again?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, simples. No, that's really great, Tyler. Is there anything from your game? We did get to see a lot of it, I think, from your time there, but is there anything that we didn't get to see from your game that you'd love us to know?
Not in particular, maybe just like there were conversations I had with Andy, especially like with the Sean vote, that I tried to pull her on side to make sure she knew what was going on, that you don't really see. But yeah, I wish I had reassured Andy. I didn't think I needed to, but I probably should have, because that was obviously the reason that I went home in the end. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. Strategic Queen. Thank you so much. Okay, question for Lily. Do you want to come and join us again? A question for you. This question says, what do you think you should have done differently to make the final two?
Oh, whoa. I'm just need a second. To make the final two, I wish that I knew how to do math, puzzles, anything like that, so I could have actually partaken in the challenge better. I'm not sure if there is anything else I could have done. I think by that point, in terms of getting a connection with Kyle and getting, like, I could not get any more connected to Nick if I tried. I tried to come to Kyle because what I knew that he wanted was somebody who tried hard, and I was really trying to give that to him while not over expressing myself, because I didn't want to be too like, I deserve this. And I think that would scare him off. So yeah, I don't know if there is anything else I could have done other than have just been better at the challenge, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you, Lily. Appreciate that. Actually, while you're here, All-Stars, who would you pick from the cast to be on All-Stars?
I just want Alex back. Like, when you left, I was really sad. And because I literally looked at him and I just said, I've got this idol. Let's all just be safe and get back together. And I don't know if it was captured enough, but I was shocked. And yeah, so I think I'd just like Alex back.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Lily. Now, I'm going to ask each of you that question about the All-Stars question. You're going to cycle through if you haven't answered. Alex, do you want to pop up? Who would you like to see on All-Stars? Yeah, come here. Yeah. Who would you like to see on All-Stars?
Sean, because I feel really bad about the two idols. So, yeah. I just found out then actually that he didn't have two idols. I thought he did. So.
Good to know. Good to clarify. Sean, do you want to come up? If you had to put someone on All-Stars, who would it be from this cast?
Alex.
Awesome. Any reason why, or?
I just want to see more of those little emoji things.
Lots of emojis. Yeah, awesome. Andy, do you want to come up? And then Nick and Liam.
I'd maybe take Georgia, make it a little bit saucy, see what we'll do if we did play together.
And I think Georgia's one of the players that we didn't get to see a lot of,
Yeah.
but she is very strategic. And it would have been really interesting to see if she got further.
And very competitive. So she, I think she was pretty sad that she got voted out second because she had a lot more to show.
I think a highlight, obviously, was, well, one of them from the very first challenge was the hit on Liam and Sian. Obviously, that was like epic. That was the very first thing that happened. And we were like, is this how the game's going to go today? Like, this is crazy. But the other one was you and Georgia wrestling to get the ball. Like, that's competitive.
I didn't realize how hard it was to literally pull someone. That was a bit of a shock. And I'm pretty sure that clip was like trimmed a bit. It was like 10 minutes or something. Like we were really fighting pretty hard. A bit of rivalry there, but yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Liam, do you want to come up? All-Stars question for you, mate. Who would you like to see on All-Stars?
I would have to say, can I say 2? Is that all right? Is that allowed?
Spending the rules, but yeah, sure.
From Rogers, it would definitely have to be Tyler. But in a situation where the people didn't know her, I think would be a very dangerous game. And also from my own tribe, it would actually have to be Georgia. And I was petrified of the idea of those two getting together into a merge situation. So those would be my All-Stars.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Liam. And Nick, do you want to make your way up? An All-Stars pick from you. Who do you reckon?
Tyler. I'd like to see Tyler in a bigger game, see what she can do with some more numbers and see how she manipulates votes. Yeah, it was impressive how quickly she can jump onto things. And she gave me a rap before, so I got to give her one back.
Well, you can stay here for a second because we're going to finish up right about now. If you have any questions that we haven't asked and you would like to ask them, please do so in the comments or shoot us a message. We might be able to get some answers for you and do some social posts in the coming days and weeks. But thank you so much for joining us. It has been a blast to be able to share this experience finally with all of you. So from all of us at Brisbane Survivor, we want to thank the crew behind the scenes. A massive shout out to our editor, Cam, who has put in hours of time and energy into this. We want to thank you so much to everyone who participated on the day. We want to thank our amazing cast and obviously a shout out to Hayley, Georgia, and Kyle, who couldn't be here with us tonight. But an incredible cast for our very first season. The bar is set very high for season 2. So I want to thank you so much for playing hard. Season 2 is coming. If you would like to apply, please head to our socials. You can apply there. Applications close at the end of May. So get in quick. We really would love to see your applications. From Brisbane Survivor, that's all from us. So thank you for everyone here tonight. Thank you, Nick. Congratulations. And we'll see you soon. Bye.